3 days into office as a new member of the California state legislature, some would be decorating their new digs and wading slowly into the policy pool. But instead, Assemblywoman Wendy Carrillo is taking on an issue sure to put the Golden State at the center of another fight with the feds.
The urgency of this moment in our nation's history requires that we act.
Carrillo is talking about the urgent action she feels is needed to address President Trump's latest move against immigrants with a kind of current legal standing. His administration is ending temporary protected status for Salvadorans. The only woman from El Salvador serving in the state legislature says this step is much more insidious than it appears.
The president clearly told us who he was when he was campaigning, and whether you are undocumented or whether you are a DACA recipient or whether you are on TPS, it's all the same to him because it doesn't look like the way he wants this country to look like.
Though Presidents Bush, Clinton, and Obama have extended TPS as a humanitarian gesture for people who've come here after wars and natural disasters, many feel a measure designated as temporary should be just that. Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Hondurans have already had TPS provisions revoked. The discussion of legal status not only resonates with this new lawmaker because of the nearly 50,000 Salvadorans, many in her own district, who call California home, but because at just 13, she learned she was not a citizen of the place she considered home.
I think what I realized is just how incredibly separated we are, and how a social security number or your legal status can make a huge difference in your future and the opportunities that you have in this country.
Carrillo's family fled civil war when she was 5. With nothing like TPS extended to her family, she applied and paid for the citizenship process on her own, succeeding 8 long years later. That's not something she could have done under TPS, a misconception she wants to clear up.
I've heard already people say, well, they've been here 17 years. Why haven't they applied? Well, it's because you can't. It would be unlawful for you to do so because that's not the way that the law is currently structured.
And while the situation may seem dire now, she sees hope in the 2018 midterms.
There could be legislation introduced that would allow TPS recipients to have access to residency and citizenship if Democrats were to take back Congress.